Okay, so we are now recording the March 24th, 2017 Small Business Accounting Advisors, and we are talking about QuickBooks File Manager. Every year you install desktops. As pro advisors, you probably install the software every year, and every year you get a new QuickBooks data file. The most recent one does take the place of all the old ones, so you can just get rid of them.
Right.
So
just more clutter on the desktop.
2012.
you head back to 2012?
Yeah, I'm going to see if I can. They're all in the start menu.
Yeah, I was going to say, as long as you don't have any clients using them, yeah, just get rid of them.
Yeah, you don't need it.
I used to use it. I mean, I used it a lot. I had all my clients organized in them, had the naming convention so that I knew that, you know, which version they were using. And I don't think I've used it in 2 years now.
Who I have right now, and I'm going to try to search my my ACT database, but who's on 2014, because Amazon's got a really great deal right now on QuickBooks Pro 2017.
Yeah, it's cheaper than, what is it? They're doing
149 plus tax.
Yeah, it went.
That's pretty
they
good.
crept up to 179. Now they're back down to 149. Okay, I need to change mine.
Yeah, it changes daily.
179, but the last 2-3 days it's been like 149.
Yeah,
And the best discount we can get is 184.
yeah, it'll change really quick.
Yeah, that's my project next week, is start ordering software and get everybody lined up to move to 17. Get everybody's payments set up. I did a demo of boy, they made an impression, didn't they? Something
Did a
payment.
demo?
Skyline payments.
Okay.
Oh yeah, how is that? Because they've been calling me.
It's really nice. It's
Can you get closer to your computer?
me. I'm on my iPad.
It's a lot easier to hear you then.
Sorry, I'm so loud. I'm not. You know, keep trying to use my inside voice.
Well, I guess with your iPad, it depends how close you are and how far away, and we kind of get you fading in and fading out.
Yeah.
It works with desktop. So you can have desktop open and them open, and it's syncing. And then all invoices and all, I have to start at QuickBooks, and all this is a processor. So it'll post payment, it'll read the invoices, and you can email from their software. You can take the credit card, ACH. You can batch.
Nice.
It's pretty clean. It's their target's 10,000 a month and over. Anything below that is really not
worth it.
comparable. You know, it's just an option to QB payments. It'll be cheaper than QB payments if you've got a client of that size. So, and the commissions are nice. So
Now, do they find the invoice and all of that, make the deposit automatically, separate the fees?
no, it all goes into undeposited funds.
Okay.
Still have to do your end of day.
Okay. Got it. Got it.
At least it's applying it to AR and or putting payments on account. Or there was a setting there for sales receipts. I'm like, that doesn't make any sense unless you put in the sales receipt.
Sales receipts I've always used for I don't
For
know.
deposits and stuff like that, but I said a sales receipt's an invoice and a payment in the same transaction.
Right.
What? I guess it's not making a new transaction. Like if you post a payment on AR, it's gonna make a transaction for you, whereas this is probably just linking or pulling in the sales receipt and then running the credit card.
Right.
You know, but pretty straightforward. You know, it's nice to know what the options are, especially if you have high volume, because that, what is it, 25 cents a transaction in QuickBooks? for credit cards?
I don't know. I don't remember what it is.
I paid almost like 3,800 last year, just in
Just in fees, yeah.
Fees.
See, I don't take credit cards for that reason. I do ACH.
I was thinking, wow, I know what I could have done with that kind of money.
That's a lot of money. You must have taken in a lot of money to pay that much out.
The problem I'm having with the one client, they need a virtual terminal because 2 of the stores will call the home office and read the credit card to them. You know? And a lot of it's over the phone. And so that's driving up the fees. And then they'll come in, it'll be personal, and they're putting it on corporate cards. And it's like, well, they want their travel points. And I'm like, are you in business to send them on vacation?
Right.
You
Right.
know? And you take a $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 deposit on a job on a credit card. Oh my. And I said, you can do ACH, 50 cents. Like, well, but the store down the street may, they take credit cards. So I'm like,
Yeah.
there's some businesses where the competition's so tight. It isn't the product, because the product's pretty much the same everywhere. It's the loyalty and the salesperson and that relationship that you
Right.
and so is taking a corporate credit card or not that much of a deal killer? Maybe it is. I don't know.
It really is, according to the statisticians and the actuaries that do they're more likely to default on it if it's a corporate card.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's
There's
why
actual
the fees are
statistics
higher.
on it. That's why.
Hmm.
So, or even a personal, card, they're trying to get those points. I mean, we do the same thing. Mark and I, we put everything on the cards that's going to give us the most points, I'm just glad they changed the way they calculate the FICO score. Because
Yes.
before, if you had a big balance on your credit card, they dinged you bad. And I pay it off 100% every month. And so it couldn't take that into account. And now it does.
Got it.
So
Good. No wonder why my rate went up, because
did everybody notice their FICO scores went up?
I pay all the time on time, and I was told by people to let 1 or 2 payments go by late.
What?
Well, part of the FICO was the amount of money the bank could make off of you, and if you pay your account on time.
No.
I've heard that from bankers, actually.
Oh, wow. That's
Late.
odd.
You're gonna get dinged points if you're late.
So, well, I was on time. I forgot one credit card one time and paid it. As soon as I remembered, it was like 2 days late. 2 days late, and my rate did go up by about 20 points.
You didn't call them on,
Doesn't make any sense, but does anything ever make sense with this stuff?
It doesn't make any sense. I wasn't worried about it one way or the other.
Every year I
No,
try
but-
to get my AAA off of this old AAA card. So they hit what, $80 or $88 every year. And then I'd forget to pay it because it's not on auto pay like everything else of mine. It's like, oh, this is stupid $88.
Well,
Finally got that onto another card, but I was always getting, so it was always 88 plus 25.
I have a tendency to pay my bills like once a month. So if I have them stacked up in front of me, I do it electronically and pay it like 2 days before it's due. So, I don't want to worry about this every week. I just want to do it and be done with it.
January
you don't enter them into QuickBooks and then say that they're due. I have them out and I have it net 7, and I always say it's due 2 days before it's due, so that in case the internet's down when I go to pay it. So I'm always reminded. I have everything memorized too.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I'm using Bill.com. I can pay and pay the date that I want to pay it.
That's cool.
Okay, I don't use Build. I don't use those.
I don't have that many bills with the company.
Well, I use it because I use it with my clients.
Yeah,
So
if you're
for
gonna
me
be
to
using
use
it.
it, it's not that much money. And plus, I want to, if I want to try or test anything,
Oh yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
want to do it on the client stuff.
sure.
Yeah, I just have mine. The majority of mine are on auto pay. I don't want to have to worry about it.
Oh. Well,
Even
see,
if
then
there's
I have to worry
a
about, do I have
discrepancy-
enough money in the bank account to auto pay it?
Yeah, see, I don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's good. Well, you have a husband
Now that I'm
too.
married, we
I've had, I actually
Took
purposely,
money out of that account.
I actually purposely did when I bill my clients as I take on new people, I have a sheet depending on, because they're all on auto pays, they auto pay me monthly.
Yes.
And so as I'm bringing people on, I say, who's paying me the first week of the month, the second week of the month, third week of the month. So
Right.
depending on when I onboard the person, I may slide them in a different spot just to make sure I have consistently
Got
the
it.
same money coming in every single week. Or even I might even do the beginning of the week, the end of the week. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the nice thing about auto billing or whatever you want to
Oh,
call
yeah.
it. I have the same thing. You can.
I've got a couple
It's,
more to get on board next week.
it's almost like
And
having a
it's-
paycheck.
And it's a lot easier when they've kind of switched it a little bit inside of QBO where you can do the recurring, like you can do like a recurring sales receipt. If you, instead of having to go into the merchant area now, you can just go into the recurring sales receipt and put in either the ACH information and you just click a box saying that you have authorization or that you've read them the authorization over the phone and, or the credit card information. So, and I get all that stuff for them. I send that all through to them through PandaDoc. Once they first on board, they pick exactly how they want to pay me and put all that information in and it comes back to me. So I already have the authorization on file. So, and if I have like a one-time deal, like, you know how sometimes you might have like something that's outside of scope and you might have to like send them a separate invoice outside of the scope. I already have their information on file and I can just call them first, read them the blah, 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 and then click and pay it like that. So I only have like 3 people that still pay me with check.
Wow.
And even if they send me a check, I go right into e-check and put it in there because the check is your authorization.
Yeah, my e-check is Janine. I tell her to go bring it to the bank.
I do
have
it
a
by
client-
phone. I send everything to the bank by phone. I take a picture of both my
I have
banks.
to take
Yeah, see, mine doesn't do that. My bank is, I don't know, or maybe it does, but I just haven't bothered with it because I don't, like I said, there's only
Don't you have
2 tax
payments?
that
Don't you have
come like
QB
2 or 3
payments?
times a year.
Don't you have QB payments?
What's that?
Don't you have QB payments or no?
Yes, I do, but there's still a few clients that pay me with a check.
I know, but you just pretend it's ACH.
No, I wouldn't do that because you would still have to call them and approve
No,
it.
no. The
Yeah.
bank told me that the check itself is your authorization.
I don't know. I wouldn't want to pay 50 cents when I can just have Janine not pay her and have her go to the bank for me.
I have to make a bank deposit with SunTrust once a year. I've got an ex-client. I was his controller for 16 years, and then I'm the executor of his will and all. So he has that one of those insurance trusts. He has to fund it, and then we buy the insurance. And so once a year, I pay these 3 bills. He hates this bank, so he mails me the checks to go make the deposit.
That's
Wow.
Last year, I got upset with him. I'm like, no.
For 2 checks. All that agita.
So, but it was like going to the post office. Like I went to the post office and got all the property tax returns in the mail today. And they went, Sarah. And I'm like, I know, I never go to the post office anymore. You know, and going to the bank and they're like, oh, are you still around? I'm like,
Well, I hate going to a bank and waiting in lines now. They have downsized the number of tellers.
oh, yeah.
And
No,
the
1,
banks,
2. That's it.
Fridays. Everyone's their cash at their check.
yeah, I have some organizations that I'm like treasurer for, and
Yeah.
so those are still bank trips. You know,
Oh,
and
yeah.
boy, I remember why I didn't like it, going to the bank, wasting my time. It's not bad every once in a while, but it just seems like a real time killer now. At
But you
this
know what's a
point.
killer is for years and years and years, I just scanned the checks and it put the payments in QuickBooks and deposited for me. And then 2 years ago, it just broke. And they kept saying it's going to be updated, and they just never fixed it.
Wow.
Yep, that was a nice feature. So now I just pretend. Quit yawning. I saw that.
So did you actually have a
if you
scanner?
were watching me, you would have yawned yourself.
I'm sitting here trying not to. I'm all curled up in a.
It seems like whenever I go to the bank, I'm stuck behind someone who's brought in a ton of cash to be counted, or else someone's got some real complicated problems taking about 10 minutes to get solved, you know.
Yeah.
Or they're putting up that big bag of change.
Yeah.
It's like me walking with 10 big envelopes.
You people are horrible. Can I just tell you? I cannot believe y'all are complaining about going to the bank to put money in. When there are folks who don't even have money to go to the bank to put money in.
That's like first world problem.
Get
I'd
out of
rather
here,
use
man.
I'd rather use
Please.
PayPal and have it
Misha,
put
we
in that
gotta
way.
work on that, Misha.
You understand that I have a party when I get one check. I'm like, I'm going to the bank. I'm going to. Yes. I don't care who's in there. If it's somebody counting 1 pennies.
When you had
I'm
your
glad.
bills, you had all your checks ready. I remember I was going on vacation and I had said mail.
Sarah,
this
speak
one on
up.
Monday, this one on Tuesday, yeah, like that. And the girl mailed them. And I'm on vacation. I'm bouncing checks left and right. So yeah, boy, it's nice after. Well, I'll do this for 30 years.
Don't you guys remember having a relationship with the bank people?
Yeah,
They like you walked
you
in.
did
you
it
have a
on purpose.
conversation.
Make sure they
Back
knew
in the
who you are
day.
and knew your voice and yeah.
I used to work for a bank, Washington Mutual, before they crashed and burned. It almost took down the entire economy back in the 2008.
Good times.
Yeah.
Wow, Dennis, that was so positive.
So I do have something that I just heard from a CPA that I work with. He asked me, does QuickBooks Desktop keep credit card numbers in their file?
If you
They're
put them
trunked. They're
Masked.
masked.
I would have thought that, but behind the mask, those numbers are there.
yes,
He had a client that had QuickBooks. The QuickBooks was hacked, and every one of his clients with the credit card got hacked and had their account.
That's one of the things that the demo today. She said we're PCI compliant. We store the credit cards, not QuickBooks. We pull in the invoices, but we keep the credit card information. So unless it's PCI compliant, there shouldn't be any credit card.
Well, I thought QuickBooks was PCI
So
compliant.
do I. I don't understand why.
No, and that's why they do that password thing now. I had a client that had it stolen too because she has an old version of QuickBooks and she doesn't do the updates.
And was it stolen because she didn't have a password, or did they actually get the database and were able to pull that information out of the database? Apparently, the way that
She has a password, but somebody cracked it. She never.
Oh, they're
changed
easy to
the
crack.
password.
You can buy password
Password
crackers
for the
too.
last 20 years.
Wow.
I used to, when I did QuickBooks Desktop, I had my own password cracker because sometimes the client wouldn't give me the, the login or the password. So it just creates a new file and takes out all the passwords.
Oh yeah, there's a tool that you can use from QuickBooks to do
That
that.
tool would strip it out and it would have no password. And then I had another tool that would just show me what it was back in the early days anyway.
Right. But I'm talking about password protected, and they just got the database. They weren't, whatever they had or did, they were able to get into the back end and get the information out of the program.
How do they know? Where was the file?
Whatever way they did, they were able to get all of the clients' credit card numbers, even though when you go into QuickBooks, you only see the last 4 numbers. They were able to get the complete numbers, the expiration date, the whole everything. And
I'm surprised they got the 3-digit code because there's nowhere to put that in QuickBooks. You always have to add the 3-digit.
You don't need a 3-digit code then.
Oh, that's
Some
why.
when you're like, if your credit card is stolen, there's some places you like, if you went to a gas station and you used a card, like if you have the physical card and you use a gas station, it doesn't ask you for the that 3-digit code.
PIN number.
Yeah, it doesn't ask you for anything.
Yeah, and a lot of
A zip
online
code
places
maybe.
don't ask for that 3-digit verification code.
Got it.
You just put in whatever and it does it. 'Cause I remember like years and years ago, I went to a party and my wallet got stolen, and these people used my credit card and they went joyriding and putting gas in cars, and I'm like, I called the credit card company. I'm like, well, considering I don't even have a driver's license, yeah, that wasn't me.
Well, that's something to think about. You know, it's going to be more and more.
Well, okay.
How about the password manager that got hacked? The database got hacked
Which
last
one?
week. Was it one word?
Is
or
that the
something?
client file that you're talking about?
No,
the database
password
manager?
manager.
No, there's a password. You know, these password managers, it's a separate application.
LastPass.
Like last.
Oh, okay.
It'll create and maintain passwords.
Like LastPass.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
And you're saying they can be hacked also?
Yeah, they got hacked. One of them.
Jeez.
Yep.
You create a strong password for that sucker.
Yeah, really. And not
Like mine
forget
is
it, because
like-
if you forget it, it would be, you know.
Mine's like about 35 characters, my password for LastPass. So
And you
take-
remember.
I think
Well,
they, I
yeah,
think
it's
they
pretty
said
easy.
the
You just put it
database
together.
actually got hacked.
I
And
had
I think
I had
that-
a client of mine that I was trying to get her to use like LastPass because she uses these redonkulous passwords with uppercase, lowercase, ampersand, you know, her firstborn, blah
Because
blah blah
she
blah
has to
blah.
write it down because it's
Yeah, and she writes them down. She's like, she writes them all down, and then so she will email me the first part, text me the second part, call me with the third part, and I'm like, Honey Badger doesn't got time for this. You need to do LastPass. She's like, no. So what I did is I went to her house once. This is a couple of years ago. And so I went to her house and she showed me. I'm like, give me this book so I could. She showed me her book. She goes, oh yeah, I don't want to get hacked, so I have this whole, you know, blah blah blah. She doesn't put anything online. She goes, I got it in my little red book here, right? And she put her little red book inside of her desk drawer. And she went to go get a cup of tea or something like that to go get us a cup of tea. And she came back and I took her book. And she shoved it in my book bag. And I'm like, all right, well, let's get going here. Let's log into your utility company. And she's like, where's my book? Where's my book? And I'm like, see how easy it is to be able to steal every single password. You've made it so easy for them. You have it in one little book that says passwords in your drawer.
Better put in a
Right
safe.
next to your computer.
Then you would never have it when you needed it for the 50
Yeah,
minutes
that's
to
like-
log on to.
That's like having your ATM card and writing and having a sticky note with the
The back of the pin is.
number right there, and it's in your wallet together. So if you lose that, they have the password.
Yeah, I found a sticky on my mom's card in her wallet one time.
Oh,
Oh, I can't remember.
That's funny.
that's awful.
Funny.
Well, you know what? There is something to be said about writing down things. My phone, I have my phone with me all the time, and I do not dial numbers anymore, ever, ever, ever. I have a friend that actually ended up in the hospital and lost his phone, didn't know where it was. He had no one to call. He had no way of getting numbers. Yeah. He finally did somehow, well, found me on mine, of course, right? So he called me, and I had to give him a bunch of the numbers, people that we knew together, because he had no way of notifying anyone. You know, he had places and plans and things that he was going to do, and you know. So writing down telephone numbers and keeping them in a safe place is not a bad idea also.
You know, the other thing I've done in the past is I've made a copy of my driver's license and all my credit cards, because one time my wallet got stolen and I had to report it, and they needed to get the numbers and all this stuff. And I was so glad. I also do that because when I travel, you know, if I need it, it's there.
Right, right. You know, that's an excellent idea, Vet. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. So switching subjects. Linda, I want to say condolences to you for Glory.
Yeah, that's so sad.
So my heart goes out to you.
Yeah, and I if this ever happens again, I'm going to push for a certain test. It turns out I've been studying up on it because it was the exit out of the stomach that got pinched off. So the food just would sit in the stomach, and then they had, where could it go? It had to come back up. And it turns out they can do a barium, you know, where you drink something that has like something that'll show up on the x-ray, and it would have been really clear that everything got to the stomach and nothing went to the small intestine.
Right, right.
But they couldn't find that for some reason with all the tests. So, too bad.
Right, right. So we're sorry.
Doing, because I know that's can be traumatic
Grace
too.
is doing pretty good.
Yeah.
She's bossing me around. She
And
thinks
how are you doing though,
twice
Linda?
as much food now because Glory's gone. She thinks she should get her food and Glory's food.
Oh, goodness gracious.
And I told her, no, it doesn't work like that. You're already overweight. So we're doing pretty good. The big wrestle was last weekend when I was trying to figure out, do I need to do this? Don't I need to do this? And I had actually,
Decisions.
God, I'm a QuickBooks expert. I'd already spent like $1,200 trying to figure out what was wrong. And we figured out, even if we did more tests and figured out what was wrong, chances are it wasn't anything that was fixable. So.
Right, right, right. So
it's all good. It's all good.
our heart's with you, Linda.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
So the other thing I wanted to talk about was Miss Mariette. She has not been with us the past couple weeks. She is busy doing her Latino small business group. I see her doing all kinds of stuff there. Want to wish her the best of luck.
Wow.
She had a really awesome video. Joanne and I were talking about it earlier. Peeking through the window.
I loved that one. It was hilarious. I mean, that's so original. I never seen anybody do that.
She's been getting very creative with her videos these days. So I'm going to put a link in the chat if you guys want to watch her video.
That would be nice. You know, she could be like a Latina Oprah or something, because she's just really kind of so special. Since she
really likes people, Mariette.
Oh,
and
she
and
loves
I think
people.
part of it too is because she comes from such a big family.
Yeah.
And you know, she was probably always, you know, they're always around a lot of people.
Well, I think like Seth, she does not sleep. So she has more hours a day than she's doing.
I think
And
you're
she's
right.
energized by people. Extroverts are energized by people.
That's true.
I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
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 I'm an introvert who acts like an extrovert.
I think I'm the same way, Sarah. I'm exhausted just watching
I'm
her
alone,
and
I'm
Seth
like,
together. When they get together, oh my goodness.
It's like the
Okay.
kid.
Let me see. Next subject I wanted to talk about was how quickly do you respond, and do you respond to the various ways of people getting to you? Phone, email, Facebook message, LinkedIn message, and now I got Marco Polo going on, which I seem to be ignoring at the moment. I don't know why.
It depends on if I'm teaching them boundaries or not. Because some of them, my clients knows boundaries.
Speak up, Sarah. We have a hard time hearing you.
If my clients know their boundaries, so if I get a message really outside of regular hours, I know something is serious, for the, and they don't take advantage of me. Every I've been in too many situations where clients have really taken advantage. So
I think you're right. I'm the same way. I generally like emails. I don't like to get phone calls.
That's my favorite.
I'm in the office a whole lot more than I used to be, but I still do go to certain clients at certain times. And if I'm with a client, I don't want to take a phone call. I feel like
really?
Yeah.
I always take phone calls from other clients when I'm with a client. And the reason why, and I always comment on it, I tell them that I always want my clients to know they can call me anytime.
Okay.
And if it's a quick question, my client sees how I answer the question quickly. If it's a longer question, they see how I share that, I'll call you back right after we finish here, and it's going to be about an hour or two. So I use it as a teaching moment.
And I have always thought that if I'm with a client, I should be concentrating on their stuff and not somebody else.
That's what I do.
Yeah,
You
know what? When I've had people come and work on, even just like on my computer, like an IT person or whatever, or even somebody working on my refrigerator, I don't like that I'm paying them so much money per hour and they're going to take time to answer phone calls. I just don't like that. I think it's kind of disrespectful on my end,
What I've done recently is I finally bit the bullet and I updated my voicemail to tell them that I don't want them to leave me a voicemail, to send me an email. Because I got sick of listening to voicemail, and then because they'll be like, call me. And I'm like, no.
Tell me why I'm calling you.
And tell me exactly why you want me to call you. What's the question, so that I can take my time and find your answer for you, so that I can be more productive in my time to get them
ready to answer this complicated question you have.
Yeah.
Well, I have a thing.
During the tax season, I have a constant out of office that basically explains everything to them, how long, when I check things a day, how fast I'm due to respond. And if people send me something through like Facebook, I teach them. At the start, I'll be like, you need to email all this to me. I am sick of screenshotting and doing all this. You need to email me that information. I want it all funneling into one area so that I can then put it into my Insightly. If it's something I need to do, bring it into Box. If I need to capture it for their tax information or whatever the case may be. So, and same thing with text messages. I'll be like, can you email that to me?
No, text messages are the worst for me. Yeah. Those are the ones that I really, really don't respond to. But I will say, like everything, there's an exception. If I'm teaching someone and I have just had a teaching session, I will tell them to call me because I want them to be in their QuickBooks. And many, many times those questions are very simple and very fast. You go to file, you go to, what I mean, backup company, and that's how you make your backup, It tells me that they are actually working and doing the things that I've taught them. Otherwise, they will wait until my next session and we'll just pick up where we left off before.
Yeah. I teach them how to do a lot of how to search and help. And if they forget something, like all of my sessions are all recorded, so they automatically get the video to our whole session. And I also tell them at that session, here's how you search it, because a lot of the basic stuff they can find themselves.
Right.
If they want to still email me a question, I can then respond back with either finding it like in the community and sending them a link, or I'll do a quick video and upload it and say, here's the answer to your question. If I feel it's something that we need like more than like 10, 15 minutes, then I'll make them book a session. Not that I would charge them for it, but I would make them put it on my calendar, because I think a lot of times we end up spending too much time of our day trying to handle those little phone calls instead of actually getting work done. And it deters from the productivity from actually trying to get stuff done, especially for me, especially during tax season.
Right, right. No, I agree. And again, the exception is the training clients. And I do tell them that if I'm with another client, I will call you back as soon as I can. And if it's more than 15 minutes, I'll let you know. We have to schedule a time to answer this. My quick questions are, where do I go to? How do I get there? If you're telling me my bank reconciliation is not working, this is not a 5-minute question. This is a session.
Mm-hmm.
I have a thing called a UMail where it does a voice transcription. And while it's not perfect, I can usually get a pretty good idea of, what they want. Although sometimes it is kind of using some of the, the way the software interprets the.
Oh, I bet you they're funny. They're probably
Yeah,
I think I told you about the one that had a client that was.
Yeah, Google Voice will do that for you. But my problem is that my message that I had on there for them, I wasn't specific. I was like, leave your name and blah, 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 blah. And you would say, and why you're calling, but they would never say that. They would just say, hey, call me.
right.
They would never give me the reason. And you don't know how many times I would look at my email, have the Google transcript come in and have it say, call me. No, that's not, I can't, I'm not going to call you unless you tell me why.
Well,
I
most
feel
of
that way
mine,
about
it's good for
Facebook.
screening junk mail too. You get all these, also the ones where they don't leave a message. I know it's junk, phone.
Or by the time they get through the phone system, it only records the second half of whatever they're trying to do.
Right.
A computer talking to a computer.
I really don't respond to Facebook messages and even less LinkedIn. I actually had somebody ask me for a proposal on LinkedIn and I didn't get it for like 3 days. So when I responded, I know, right? When I responded, I just said,
they can't find you.
I just said, I'm sorry. If you had emailed me, here's my email, I would have answered right away. But I lost that when I was too late. He went to other people. So, oh, wow.
I had a Zoom meeting with a potential new client this week. And he said that he had a strong accounting background. And, so I was a little leery of this guy, just the way it came out so strong. And I'm like, yeah, okay. And I've been doing this a long time. I'm not intimidated. It was the best. He'd never seen a Zoom. He thought that was the coolest thing. So it's like we're sitting next to each other. I'm like, turns out his background's Arthur Anderson. I'm like, oh, that's fantastic. We actually talk the same language, and had a lot in common. And so I'm real excited. So he wants to downsize and be able to travel back home. And I'm like, guy, we got to get you in the 21st century. And everything's in Excel, big Excel guy.
Right. Accountants generally
I
are.
know exactly where you're coming from. It's like, just a checkbook. I'm like, no, just a checkbook. But, so, yeah, he's going to be fun. He's going to be fun. So
Awesome.
I turned him on to Smart Sheets. I said, go play in there for a while and call me next week. How about you get me sleep?
Well, you won't be seeing him for about another week or two. He's going to get lost.
Yeah, so.
Well, it is only, how long until the 15th? 3 weeks? Is it 3 weeks away for the deadline?
Something like that.
The 18th of April.
The 18th, is that what it is?
Yep.
Yeah, we're getting down to the wire now.
17th. Is that a holiday?
Yeah, I think it's in DC.
Yeah,
It's a holiday, I believe.
Oh, that's right. There's
You
that
get
after
2 extra
tax
days this
day
year.
emancipation or something like that they call it.
Easter Monday.
The DC holiday is Saturday. They're celebrating it on Monday, so that means everything is from Tuesday and Massachusetts.
That Monday's Easter Monday. That's why it's Tuesday.
It's not Easter Monday. That's the holiday. Easter is not a holiday.
Yeah, Easter's not a bank.
Okay, well, I'll write and tell the people that made my calendar that they should. God, I can't believe they did that. I missed what you said, though. You said something, it was some other reason, something else is a holiday?
It's not a professional holiday. It's a religious
Easter
holiday.
is not a federally recognized holiday. I was gonna say that in Washington, it is a different holiday.
Yes.
Easter is a religious holiday that not everybody celebrates because not everybody is
Christian.
Christian.
Okay.
It's only federal
Celebrate
holidays.
Easter?
So
I didn't know that.
if you want to go update the folk that created your calendar, you are more than welcome to do so. However, I'm going to go by the federal holiday that is being celebrated on that day.
And what is that?
We don't care.
In DC, I think it's Emancipation Day.
I think, yeah, I
It's a
think
holiday in
it is.
DC.
I just like to know there's an extra day.
It just gives you an extra day to get your taxes done.
I just tell people the 15th anyway.
No, I tell everybody April 1st because that's
Yeah, I was about to say, you gotta be-
Got it. Thank you very much, Misha. That makes sense.
So Larry, are you with us?
Yes, ma'am.
You said Hector Garcia had a webinar today?
Yeah, my guess is he's probably going to post it on YouTube. I hope he does.
Oh, why
What
wasn't
was
that
it on?
calendar?
It was 2:00 this afternoon. You know, I connected with my cell, so I got to it late to begin with, but it sounded very interesting because they were comparing QuickBooks Online to QuickBooks Desktop, and had suggestions on which clients either one would be suited for best and that type of thing. I thought it was pretty neat, you know.
was it with enterprise or was it just with desktop?
Well, they said desktop, although you know Hector's big on enterprise
Yeah.
anyway. So.
I thought at one point in time he had posted in one of the groups that he wanted some opinions on because he was getting ready to do this, and I thought he was saying QBO to enterprise, so that's why I didn't even look to even go in it because I was like, I don't really care about enterprise.
Yeah, as he was whipping through it, you're right. He spent more, he spent more time talking about enterprise when he was talking about desktop.
Mm-hmm.
Although he did mention some other ones, Pro and Premier editions.
Well, I do have to say that one product that he talks about all the time that I ended up buying, that 2 QBO Pro Plus.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God, that saved me so much time on a client that I just needed to do some, you can use it for desktop for like batch posting. Like it easily takes a bank statement and puts it into a CSV.
Yeah.
Like really easily.
I like it.
And I saved like literally, I did a whole year in like, I think 15 minutes.
Wow.
Were we on the phone?
What is it, like $200 or something? It was
It's 200, and I think there's you know who has it? I think Marriott has the coupon link. I think you can get it for $250, but you have to buy the plus. It's like a separate thing that helps you, because what the plus will do is the plus will allow you to just scan a PDF outside of that it was downloaded from the bank. So in other words, if somebody scanned their documents, the plus does a really good job reading those type of PDFs.
Okay. You know, one thing that was mentioned today in his webinar, he had a line item of, you know, like the list that when you go into a new client and you want to assess what their needs are. He had a line on there, but he had like one of the lines on there, he had a line drawn through it. And it was how, like an inventory, if they have needs, I forget what they use. It's almost like, you know, when they go around with that point of sale things and they do the barcodes. That's what it was. They were saying that Intuit is not that great on barcodes. I don't know.
No, not unless you get like a POS
and the add-on
with it that kind of dumps into it or whatever. But
Anyway, I mean, you guys are all well versed in all of this anyway, but I just thought it was a nice webinar and it was a lot of good info in there, especially when you're talking to a new client and you're trying to decide what's best for them.
I just had that experience, Larry. I
Okay.
decided what was best for the client and was voted down by the accountant and by the POS system.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what was best for the client?
Yeah.
What was best for the client? Desktop?
QBO.
QBO. I just kind of wonder how enterprise will be impacted in future years as QBO gets better and better. I mean, it seems like enterprise is so expensive, you know.
I think it's going to be a lot. Well, enterprise is a totally different.
And it's a different, yeah,
It's different
bigger
engine.
clients.
Enterprise for the clients that I used to use that had enterprise had multiple warehouses.
Yes.
And they actually would track the inventory with like multiple warehouses, and they had so many users that like the warehouse manager from warehouse A could log in their stuff when the receiving came in. Warehouse B could log in. Like they'd have to have like those multiple, more than the 5 user type things.
Absolutely,
To be able to
absolutely.
handle the amount of changes in inventory, in addition to not just that type of inventory, but like assembly building, hardcore assembly building inventory is done a lot better in enterprise. I got rid of all my clients who were on enterprise, and I think that's kind of like one of the switches that I went through is that I don't like consult anymore, like which one is better for me. I give them the explanation and I will say, well, this is what I would recommend for you. But if it's not something that I want to work with, I'm not gonna sell them it, or I will send them to somebody else.
Yeah, that
Absolutely.
makes
If
sense.
somebody's better off in enterprise, I'm going to find somebody that's better with enterprise that can work with them, because I'm not going to deal with it. I don't, you know what I mean? I don't even want them as a tax client. I want my clients to be everything the way I want it, because at least moving forward and trying to get rid of the people in the past, the old people that are, slowly moving to change. But everybody's going to be different. Not everybody can go online. I get that. That's why I do desktop and I do online. I kind of have a little bit of both worlds, but I don't do inventory anymore. And I just refer those kind of things out. I don't like restaurants. I don't like POS. Let somebody else deal that.
As your practice grows, you kind of have to scale back and specialize. Otherwise, you'll go nuts.
Well, exactly. And that's what I'm kind of doing, is I'm kind of working more with the like service-based people, very similar to accountants, in that professional service capacity, because what I think that I've built, my skill set that I've built for my business and how I operate is very similar to what they do. And I can have a lot of extra consulting time helping them with those things.
Sure.
Right, right.
Scheduling apps or, whatever type stuff that we end up finding up that we use.
Plus, as you develop your expertise, you become a lot more efficient and add more value.
Yeah.
So, but you can't do that if you're trying to do everything.
And I enjoy working with those people more. I enjoy tax planning with them more. It's just, it makes more sense to me. So between them and then the direct selling with the LuLaRoe girls,
Hey, Sarah.
I got my hands full.
Well, the enterprise to me has always been a larger client, and the people that are working in enterprise have been doing it for a while. So when they have a problem, it's a complicated problem to solve.
Yeah.
It's a whole lot more time consuming, a whole lot more research is required. And then I found that I was training one and done. So to me, it was much easier switching to QBO and going back down to the smaller clients that are more manageable. The enterprise clients, I could have had worked on just one client and gone to work every day, 8 hours a day if I wanted to. That was not what I wanted to do.
No.
So.
You might as well be an employee if you're going to do that.
Pardon?
You might as well be an employee if you're going to do
At
that.
that point, yes.
You get a lot more benefit. Get a lot more benefits.
Right.
My
maybe yes and maybe no.
Oh, well, yeah.
Hey, Deb, what were you saying?
I have enterprise clients, but those have staff. What I am is the all like
Right.
CFO, consultant, set up the process, and then I'm just looking at the books. I'm not actually doing the data entry.
Right.
Question.
I've got a couple of that.
Then the
So
one-
you're doing the CFO kind of,
Yeah, and then
and what I have found is they have a CFO on staff.
well, a lot of them don't, or they don't. The CFO doesn't know what they're doing because I could do it for half the price. For a full-time CFO, technical support, but they have a staff that's doing the actual work every day.
All right.
The smaller, I would like to, they're on QBO where I'm the that's my favorite, but I have them both. But you're right, I did get an enterprise client back. This was a client I picked up 10 years ago who was on Peachtree. And I said, you got to go Peachtree and get on QuickBooks. Oh, no, because the accountant, like their accountant didn't want to switch, Gina. This
Yes.
accountant want to switch. And every 2 years they'd come back to me. I said, you got to get off Peachtree. I kept saying, but I like Peachtree. I said, yeah, but it's not giving the client what he wants. So, yeah. So anyway, just a month ago, finally called me back again and they said, okay, we want you back now and we're switching to QuickBooks. Yay! In only 2 years. So.
But
It's been-
I have had both ways, Peachtree to QuickBooks and QuickBooks to Peachtree. And I have found if they're going from Peachtree to QuickBooks, they don't have all the things that they need,
Right.
particularly around job costing.
Right. Yeah, and they didn't have any of that. I mean, and then what was interesting was they had a CFO there who started the QuickBooks file January 1st. And I've been there now 1 week. They let him go, bring me in. I went in and I said, opening balance equity, $2 million. I'm looking around going, he didn't make the correct adjusting entries. He's not, I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, he job costs where he would put in the job, he would have the customer right. Then if the job was done in January, all jobs in January were January jobs. All jobs in February were February jobs, customer
God, I hate that.
jobs, so I said, we're going to switch this around. I'm totally revamping everything. And I said to the guy, the operations guy, look, I'm changing the stall. It's only 3 months into the year, so he goes, do whatever you have to, because that guy didn't know what he was doing. I said, I can see, but, and then the girl that's in the office, she goes, I really hate QuickBooks. I can't make it do what I want. I said, but I really like Peachtree. I said, oh, well, what is it you want it to do? She goes, well, I really need to know the tracking number. I said, do you put the tracking number on the invoice? Yes, I do. Where do you put it? Oh, I put it in the memo. Oh, do you always ship with FedEx? Yes, I always ship with FedEx. Okay, watch. And I did a find memo FedEx. Poof, they all popped. I went, is that what you want? She goes, oh my God, I've been doing this by hand. I said, I can design it how I can make it sing. You just have to tell me what you want. So I've been showing her all this stuff, and she's going, I really like this program. I go, I told you.
Right.
That's going to be a fun account. I tell you what,
So Gina, are you saying when you switch from Peachtree to QuickBooks, is it because the information is not in Peachtree or it just doesn't transfer?
Peachtree does job costing completely different. And we're saying Peachtree. Peachtree does not exist anymore. It's
right.
Sage.
Sage. Yeah.
And there's a lot of different sages.
And their job costing is completely different.
Right.
With QuickBooks, it has to be attached to a check or some entry that it's going through the cash account. In Sage, it does not. You can put, the cost without having an invoice attached to it. So when I say I know people from Sage to QuickBooks, the reason why they switched to QuickBooks was because they wanted an app and the app only worked with QuickBooks and not Sage. So to them, they were downsizing, but in their particular instance, the app that they were using was able to give them the information that they needed. So it was, even though QuickBooks wasn't giving them the amount of information Sage was, the way that they had it set up with the app worked for them.
Okay, good.
So I'm finding technology is different. So you have to know the different things that work with different technologies.
And the other thing about Sage is that no one knows the product. So it's hard to get technical support. I don't like how locked down it is. One of my biggest irritants is, you know how in QuickBooks, if you want to use the calculator on a check in the amount field or whatever, you can just do the math right in there. Peachtree, you can't do that.
Right.
That's one of my biggest irritants. Well, Sage, I guess.
Same thing with
And-
QBO. You can't do it in QBO, can you?
Yeah, you can.
Yes, you can.
Yeah. You can.
You just have to actually do the calculation. Like you would do 100, hit the plus sign, and then
Yeah.
the next figure 50, and then just hit your tab, and it will.
It's your tab key, and there it is. Yeah.
It's the tab key that's the key.
That's the
Yeah.
truth.
If you hit the enter key, it doesn't do it. It says,
Right.
wrong. So,
But no, it's hard to get technical support with that. If someone doesn't, and you like, if I have a QuickBooks problem that I can't answer, I have all of you to ask.
Yeah.
If I have a Sage problem I can't answer, I'm like, oh, well, too bad. Deal with it.
well, their
I mean,
support is so expensive. Sage
And yes, and it's
support
expensive
is
too.
extremely, extremely expensive.
The payroll stinks. I mean, there's not one thing I really like about it other than Ed Kless works for him, and I like him.
Yeah, I love him. Oh, I could listen to him speak all day long.
Yeah.
I think they're
And Jennifer Wawara, or whatever. I like Jennifer too.
Yeah.
So,
Did y'all
Sarah,
see this? Okay, go ahead.
Sarah Laidlaw, you must use Enterprise a lot, right?
I have a couple of clients on Enterprise, yeah.
Yeah.
Same idea where they're on a network. I've got APAR people and they answer to me, or I come in, I'm available to pop in and help them, and then I close the books and
so do you
report.
have them on QBox?
No,
No.
no, because it really doesn't do me any good if they're all in a. Yeah, actually, one of them is in a Q box.
Hi, Sarah. It was good to see you.
If
You're muted.
Sorry, that was for Joanne. She was leaving.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Sarah.
no. If a client has 4 or 5 users in all day long, QBox is going to help me during working hours. So it's good to have that extra file that I can get in at night or on the weekends. But usually I hang a cheap computer off their network that I can come in myself, or
So you remote into it.
or I remote into the server, So so then the next big hunt, I think my first client renews in end of April, is the log me in went through the roof. So here we go again, but it needs to be quick and easy, because I'll have, I pop into log me in, I see 5 computers, who needs me, click, boom, I'm there. None of this zooming, logging, I just need to, they need to call, they'll call and say, I'm in the middle of an invoice, I'm stuck on blah, 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 and I'm like, click. So, but
So you're doing log me in to help them right now
log me in right now. Mm-hmm.
and looking for new solutions.
Yeah. So, and I've got
It's like LogMeIn got really expensive, didn't they? I mean,
$600.
the last time I remember doing it for like about $60 a year, and now it's like around $200 for
I was
individual.
doing it for free.
Oh yeah, I used to have it for free where you just couldn't print it.
Yeah. Did y'all see the thing on Facebook where someone said they're using QBO payroll? The client missed the January 31st deadline, and now I can understand not being able to file electronically, but they're saying that they can't even print the government copies of the W-2s. It says you can only print the D copy. Employer copy is available. Nothing would print on the red form, A or a W-3. Diamond Support and QBO Payroll both said that we're going to have to handwrite 50 W-2s. I'm like, no, you're not. I'm like, could this possibly be true? That
I really
I don't
don't
know. Let me
know
look.
because I don't use QB payroll. This would be a Brandon question.
what's a
I'll-
scary, when I look at reasons, I'm scared to, go up into the QBO world is things like this, because, if a client is screwed up and something's happened and we need to help them with their payroll situation, we need to be able to help them, and to just be locked out. Oh, the deadline's passed now. You
Well,
can't.
that happens with desktop too. If your desktop file messes up, you cannot process payroll.
What's interesting is I had a client and he hadn't filed certain reports back a year or two ago, and the government wanted copies of them, and he pays for QuickBooks Payroll. Well, since the time when he didn't print it out and file it with the government, they had updated their form, and he pays QuickBooks for the payroll. So when he prints it, it prints on the updated form. It doesn't have a copy of the old form.
It's amazing.
I said, just print it on the new form and handwrite on it that if they look at the dates, it's for the old time period.
Yeah.
And I said, and get on the phone with them. I said, this is silly. Don't let this, but it did at least print. It just, that form wasn't available anymore unless we found an old copy somewhere. They took all the old ones away and there were only new copies.
We save the 4-ups in case an employee loses a W-2. Then I've got one on a page. We save the D's for the employer copy, but we also save an A, a PDF of the A, because that's what the IRS is going to look for if they lose your A copies.
Right.
And you're right, you can't go back
So-
after the period and print them.
Are they saying that they can't get what copy of the W?
The W-3 and the government, the one that's printing out on the red form, or it's not red.
Oh, let me look again because I just got the employee one.
Yeah.
I'll go back because
They can do D.
you
Well,
can get copies of A and D. You can get copies of B, like the employee. You could get the employer and the employee. I don't know why they're saying that because I'm looking right now at my client's file. And you can get them. So maybe they need to call in.
she said they did. Diamond Support and QBO Payroll said that she'd have to handwrite them.
That's so weird. I'm looking at a client's file right now and they're all right there.
File electronically, which I understand, or print. Nothing would print on the A or so it does, is it?
Oh, let's see.
Yeah,
that.
it'll do a non-submittable,
Yeah.
the whole form. I'm talking about just the figures that prints on the actual.
Want to review and print this form.
Did
All
they
you
miss
have
the
to
deadline,
do
Sarah?
is
right?
print them and write A on it and submit them. The IRS is going to take.
Or why don't you just print them on plain paper and copy them, and the heck with the
That's exactly.
alignment.
Because you know what? You can print D on
Yeah.
there. You
There
can
you
get,
go.
you can get your stuff that you need. They
So
just
the
gotta
D
print.
does the whole form, or just the figures?
Yeah, let me go back. I'm like,
Sarah, so they didn't e-file with Intuit, correct?
Right.
mhm.
Big deal.
So that means is this QBO or,
Yeah, QBO payroll.
QBO.
okay. And it's free, right? To e-file with QBO?
Well, it's past the deadline. It's not even an option. They're trying to figure out how to print them.
Yeah.
So does it
So
print the
send copy.
entire form? I know it doesn't do, it may do an A copy, but
It's
if
got.
it does an A copy with the whole form, it's non-submittable because you have to put it on
You know what? It's going to be hard for me to see that now because we we had to fix his. I actually had to resubmit his. So I don't have that view anymore. I just have D on the old one. Shoot. I'm sorry. I can't really figure that A part out for you because I had to call in and get their support because of the whole EIN change.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, it was a unfortunate,
sure does sound
fortunate
like
and unfortunate thing. So
a deal.
yeah, the client knows now. Just don't pretend on that kind of stuff.
Okay, real quick, we are on OT now, and I wanted to shout out to Mariette. She hasn't been here for a while.
Yeah.
Hey, Mariette.
Hi. You know, it's kind of funny
Put
because
a link to your video in the chat.
which one? Oh my God.
The receipts one where you're peeking in the window.
Oh, is that the best or what?
It is. I was like, yay, Mariette, you're really getting awesome with your videos there.
Oh, I'm having fun with them. And, well, you know what's so funny right now? Why I'm like all over the place because I have my I wanted to do 2 big screens. I think I'm going to change it because it's driving me freaking. I should show you a picture of what it looks like. So I have my laptop on. Well, you guys all know I have a big desk, and so I wanted to see how it would look like. I usually have my laptop. And then I have my big screen. So I have 2 monitors, but one's the laptop, one's the screen. And so now, actually, I'll take a picture of it, and that way you guys can see what my craziness is all about. But now what I do is I have my laptop on my desk, but, you know, I use my standing desk. So I'm like standing up here, but then when I want to go to the laptop, I have to come down here. So
Oh my goodness.
I'm like doing squats. I'm like,
There's your exercises for you, Mariette.
Oh,
Exercising, you don't even know it.
Oh, it's so funny though, because like when I want to like do a Zoom, I'm usually zooming here talking to it. I'm like, oh no, my camera's down here. And so I have to so well, that's where the whole idea of the video came, because I have my laptop is on my desk on the bottom, but my 2 monitors are up on the standing part. And so I was gonna do the video. And I kept on like going, well, where am I do the video? Then I went like this. How would I do this?
There you go.
And then when I did this, and I was like, what if I do this?
And you played it well with the receipts.
Oh, it was so funny because then I was like, I was laughing at myself because I felt like I was doing this. And so I said, why don't I make everybody else laugh? And make a video about it. Oh,
Mariette is doing calisthenics with her Varidesk.
only you know that. Yeah, I won't tell everybody the whole story, but that's where that whole, because someone's like, how did you come up with that idea? And I'm like, oh, you know, I just always come up with real, funny
Because
ideas.
you're creative. That's the answer.
Yeah, I'm creative, but it really was because I'm like going crazy over here with my desk and my computers. Oh my God. And then it just so happened, one of my clients, who's my friend on Facebook, figured it out. Well, the reason why it was heavy on my mind is because she always like owes, but then all of a sudden, magically, like she has like 15,000 in donations. And I'm always like, okay, you know? And so I'm okay with that as long as she knows, like if it's charitable donations, I need receipts, and I need you to go to the Salvation Army website, and I need you to go ahead and give me the values. If it's a church, I'm like, no. If it's a church, you have an account summary. Like every church gives an account summary, you know? And then if it's like, she does, and I know she does because I've gone with her, she does these trips to Mexico where she goes to orphanages and then she donates and all that. And I'm like, okay, I need to see pictures. Where are the pictures? Where, show me the trip and all that. And so so we were like on the phone for like 30 minutes, but it's every year and it's been like 8 years. I'm like, oh my God, I have to tell you every year what I need. It's been 8 years.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like,
Yeah.
I'm making a video about it right now.
Turned out awesome. Awesome.
You should send it to her every quarter as a reminder.
Well, you know what I figured? What I've been doing, because I didn't do this before. I used to make videos like this during tax season all the time, but then I would just like forget about them. But now what I'm doing, and I think Joanne or someone on here, of course, from all our shows that we do together, us, one of you guys talked about how we can right click and we can download the video and like save it. Because usually I just leave it on my Facebook or I delete it and that's it. It's gone forever and ever. And so now when I make a video, I download the video into a folder. And so that way, like, Sarah said, next year I'm going to show the same video.
That is so awesome. That is so awesome. We are over time. I'm going to stop recording now.
Okay.
So there will be no Zoom next week. I am unplugging for a week, believe it or not.
Oh, that sounds so
and
cool.
I will see you in April.
Going cold turkey, huh?
Going cold turkey.
Wow. All right.
All right. Bye, guys.
Have a great
Have
weekend,
a nice
everyone.
weekend.
Bye. Bye.